Hello there and welcome back in this lecture. Now in this lecture, we're going to go ahead and we're going to ask ChatGPT to basically design the logo for us. But there's one more thing I want to tell you about ChatGPT is that you can ask it any question. So for instance, let's say I chose the name and then basically I can paste in the name and I can say, and I want you to suggest 10 different topics to create YouTube shorts and videos about. And now it's going to proceed based on this particular choice. It's going to give us suggestions to create YouTube shorts and videos. So for instance, this is an example of a video we can create exploring Gandalf's origins, delve into Gandalf's background, including his origin as a Maya and his arrival in Middle-earth, Gandalf's greatest battles, the many names of Gandalf, Mithrandir, Tharkun, Gandalf's relationship with key characters, explore Gandalf's interactions and so on and so forth, behind the scenes, Gandalf's wisdom, the evolution of Gandalf, magical artifacts in Gandalf, Gandalf's journey through Middle-earth, Gandalf's impact on pop culture. So you can see ChatGPT is all encompassing. It can really create some tremendous topics that you can talk about. Now, the answer that you might get is a little different from what I might get because I'm using GPT-4, but in your case, you'll also get a decent answer if you're using GPT 3.5. Now, let's go ahead and let's ask ChatGPT at this particular point to create a logo. Now, because I'm activating GPT-4, I have DALL3, so I can create a logo. So I'm going to say, create a logo for my YouTube channel. And because I'm using DALL3, which is because it's GPT-4, I shall be able to do this, okay? All right, so ChatGPT right now is going to proceed to create an image. As you can see, it is using DALL3. And while it's doing it, I would like to go and introduce you to Leonardo. So go to the website I've linked to in the resources of this lecture, Leonardo.ai, click on Launch App, create an account. Make sure that you don't show NSFW content because that might create NSFW content for you. But just create an account. And then when you're here, click on AI image generation. And when you click on AI image generation, you shall be ready to create logos. Now, Leonardo AI actually functions based on models. At this point, I'm using the photoreal model, which if I deactivate, I shall be able now to change the model. Now, you cannot change a model if you have photoreal activated. And by the way, I think photoreal is only a pro feature. But if you have it deactivated, you shall be able to use other models, such as Leonardo Diffusion XL, Stable Diffusion 2.1, Stable Diffusion 1.5, which, by the way, Leonardo AI was built on the Stable Diffusion model. And for those of you that don't understand what that means, if you want to generate images with Stable Diffusion, you have to access Automatic 1111 or Automatic 1111, which is pretty complex. So you'll have to be able to access directories and understand what's going on there, and it will take you time to set up the Automatic 1111 for you to be able to generate the images that you want to generate. And besides, it takes a lot of things, a lot of elements that you have to add and things that you have to consider before creating an image there. The process is very difficult if you want to do it that way. And so what Leonardo AI thought, okay, well, let's create a platform that is basically built on the model of Stable Diffusion 1.5 and 2.1. And let's allow people to generate images by simply choosing their model and adding just a simple prompt with text. Nothing easier than that, right? So let's take away the technical aspect and let's just enable them to create images by simply merely using text. And these models here, believe me, it's really difficult when you're using Automatic 1111 because you have to upload your own model. And when you upload your own model, you have to make sure it works and you have to add a lot of inputs so that it works. And it's really very difficult. So they made it very easy. You just come here, you select a model, you type in a prompt here, and you click generate, and it generates an image, kind of like these images that you're seeing over here. Now, if you have the free version, you will have access to 150 free tokens at the point. Actually, that might change. So in the future, it might be different. But at the moment, it is 150 free tokens, which enable you to create a lot of images. So unless you're using a model that's consuming a lot of tokens, for example, if you're using Stable Diffusion 2.1 or 1.5, for example, if I go for a number of images, if I reduce it down to 1, now that's 16. Let's perhaps select this model, 3D, animation. Now it's still 16 for some weird reason. It didn't lower the number of tokens, but different models consume different tokens. Okay, that's just what I want you to know, because different models will consume different tokens. Some models consume way less than others. At this point, I think because I'm using Alchemy, I'm consuming a lot. So if I activate Alchemy, as you can see now, I'm only consuming 4. And if I go to Stable Diffusion 2.1 and 1.5, you can generate 4 images with 4 tokens. So if you have 150 tokens, you can generate a lot of images. I'll bring Alchemy back because this is a pro feature and I have access to it. And besides, I have a lot of tokens and they get refreshed every 24 hours, I think. And so it actually, and there is still way too much time for the membership to expire. So I'm just going to use all my credits. I'm going to be a rich person in this course. I'm just kidding. I'm just going to use up all the credits. So here is where you type in the prompt. And when you're using, for example, a model such as Leonardo Vision, Leonardo whatever, Absolute Reality, all models, you can click on add a negative prompt. What does a negative prompt mean? Let's say, for example, that you're seeking to generate a male human-robot hybrid with blue eyes and sharp features, looking sideways, with a robot armor but human face, okay? Now, because I have Grammarly, that also enables, the Grammarly extension enables me to modify my text as I go. Let's say that you don't want the robot to have green eyes. You want the robot to have any kind of eyes but the green eyes. Now here, because we have specified the color of eyes, I'm going to remove that, okay? So I'm going to assume that I don't know the color of the eyes. I want to leave it for Leonardo to generate the color that it seeks. But I don't want it to generate a green color eyes. So I'm going to come over here to the negative prompt. I'm just going to simply type in green color. If I do that, I can now click generate, in which case it will generate 4 images. Notice that I'm using the model Absolute Reality v.16. You also have to notice that here you have an option to select what you want the image to be like. So if you want it to be creative or dynamic or a photography, so you select the purpose of your image, and different models have different options. You can also add elements, which I'm not going to delve into. So I'm going to close that because that's not really important in this case, even though you might want to go and explore that. So I'm going to close elements right here, even though it's, by the way, it's really fun for you to go ahead and explore that by yourself. By the way, Leonardo by itself is a science. So if I want to make a course, it will take 5 hours for us to discuss all the Leonardo panel and how you can master it, because there's a lot of stuff that you can do with it. This is just how to use it so that you can use it for the course. So because we said that the robot can have any eye or any eye color besides the green color, we don't want it to have the green color. In this case, as you can see, it has generated robots, but they don't have green eyes. They have different eye colors, but not green eyes. You can add more. So let's say you don't want the robot to have hair. You can say hair. Now, if I click generate, now let me do it with a different model. So I can just choose, for example, Leonardo Vision XL. And let's just select, for example, that this is for a photography image. If we click generate, right now it's going to generate an image of a robot, except for the fact it's going to be bold and it's not going to have green eyes. So it's going to be hairless with no hair. And I mean this as no insult, by the way. It's just the way the terms are phrased. And it's going to have green color, no green color eyes. Okay. So let's just wait a second. All right. So as you can see, it has generated the image, except for it didn't take into consideration the hair. So maybe if we say hair, head hair, or what, head hair, or we could just say not bold, but let's not do it. Okay, so let's not do it. Let's just stay where we are. So now that you know how to generate images, if you want Leonardo's help with generating prompts that you want to use to generate images, you can just click prompt generation and you can come over here. Let's say you want to generate a logo for your brand. I want to say logo for the Lord of the Rings YouTube channel. If I click on ideate, I have 1,000 prompts remaining, which means I can ideate more, which is 999, actually 996, because I'm choosing 4 prompts at a time. So here, as you can see, it has given me some prompts. So if I click here, for example, it's going to proceed, and it's taken into consideration the green color as a negative prompt. So if I want to deactivate negative prompts, I can do it. And I can actually click generate again, okay? And on top of these images that were generated, we have other images that are generated, which is an amazing feature. Another thing I'd like to say that every model was trained on a specific size. So for example, Leonardo Diffusion was trained at a size 1024 by 768 pixels. So if you select a different size than that, which is, by the way, I think what we're doing here, you might have a different kind of image. So the image will not have as much quality as it should be. So always use the model, but use it in the ideal size, which is it was trained at. So for instance, if you want to know that, just go and open up another app, okay? And then at the home page, you can go to models. So I can come here to fine-tuned models. By the way, there is a lot more models. These are just the fine-tuned, which means these are the models that Leonardo AI, the company, they think those are the best. But if you want more models, go to community models, and there's a lot of models that there's no count. It's unlimited how many models there are. So I'm going to go here. And by the way, you can also make a model a favorite. For example, if you like a specific model, you could just click it and give it a like, almost like you're going to like something on Facebook. You can just follow it, and it will become followed. And you can go and find it in the list of follows. I'm just going to unfollow because I don't like this model here. So if you want to know the size at which a model is trained at, select that model. So for example, if it's Leonardo Diffusion, this model was trained at a size which is 1024 by 768. Now here, we're using Leonardo Diffusion, but we're not actually using it at the size at which it should be. We're using it at 768 by 512, which is not bad. But I can click here, 1024 by 768. And if I select any other different size, that would be problematic because it's not as much quality. Now, if I scroll down, notice these logos that were generated, which I think I'm going to go with one of them. In this case, it should be this. I think this could do extremely well on a logo for our brand. So I'm going to click, and because I have the luxury of having the pro version of Leonardo AI, I can actually use Alchemy Smooth Upscale, and then I could download this later. Right now, let's go back to ChatGPT, which I believe many of you don't have access to GPT-4. In this case, as you can see, it gave me an error. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click Save and Submit again, so that ChatGPT can basically replug the message. And you can always do this. So whenever ChatGPT is generating an answer, if you didn't like the answer, you can just come back to that prompt, click here, Edit, and then you can edit the prompt, and you can click Save and Submit, and it will start from scratch. Now, what I want to do is I want to show you a bit of magic. We want to use the same prompt that we have used for Leonardo on Midjourney. Midjourney is a software that you can access, whether that be on the computer. If you go to Google, you type in Midjourney, you'll have access to the Midjourney website, which you can go to. By the way, I don't think they have an affiliate program, but I'm not sure. But let me just click on Midjourney so that we can go to Midjourney. So here we are on Midjourney. You can either join the beta or sign in if you have an account. If you join the beta, they will take you to the Discord online. So you will